New York City's new mayor, Eric Adams, may have been able to fool a handful of people by pretending that he's going to get tough on crime, but I certainly remember the summer of 2020 when he was Brooklyn Borough president and he was just as much on the defund the police bandwagon as the rest of these clowns. It's almost as if they create problems that they can later solve and claim to have saved your life. But this guy is a complete coward. He's a total big farm mafia puppet, Black de Blasio 2.0. And we have a screenshot from a text message conversation between Adams, I think one of his assistants, and Joe Rose, or Joe Speaks Truth on Instagram. She has become one of the leaders of the New York Freedom Movement. And it's sad to think that New York, of all places, needs a freedom movement. But here we are. And she's attempting to set up a meeting with Adams to discuss some of the insane policies that he's pushing forward. And he says, nope, COVID numbers are spiking, and I am not sharing a room with unvaccinated people. I have family that I must consider. I am not exposing my family to COVID. That would be irresponsible of me. Zoom. So I guess he's just not going to leave the house anymore. And how is somebody who's afraid of the air going to get tough on crime? This is such a likely story. I mean, I'm not going to put my family in danger. Okay, you're the mayor of the biggest city in the country. You might as well just say, won't someone please just think of the children? And he's also, with this, admitting that the juice he continues to force on people doesn't really work, and he's using his family as a human shield from criticism. This is like some sort of awful Curb Your Enthusiasm episode where Larry tries to use the same excuse to avoid any and everything that he doesn't want to do. Because we know now that every single problem that ever arises can be blamed on Rona, or I guess also racism and climate change. And he says, well, the cases are spiking, again proving that the juice you're forcing on people doesn't really work. I mean, what's next? Is he going to trot out that old tired line that this is a pandemic of the unvaccinated? The same line that Rochelle Walensky had to walk back from because it was complete nonsense and provably false? And what about 6 or 8 weeks ago when he took a meeting in person with BLM? Was he not afraid of the filthy, dirty, unvaccinated people at that point in time? Or has the cases just spiked so much, again proving that the juice you're forcing doesn't really work, that now he's scared of it? I mean, this just doesn't make any sense. And I think it's also fair to say that you are more likely to get hit with a stray bullet in New York than you are to die of Rona. And there's more I need to say about Eric Adams. We can look at this tweet here from Leroy Press, and this guy's been covering New York and all the protests and stuff very well. He says, yesterday at a press conference, New York City Mayor Eric Adams stated he will bring in behavioral scientists to find out why some communities are refusing to get the shot and how to solve those issues. Now, this is actually one of the most bizarre things I've heard in this entire past 2 years, because what he's basically saying is that I'm going to bring in some scientists to evaluate the dissenters and find out why they haven't blindly obeyed every single last one of our commands. And as that's happening, like I said, on his first day, an off-duty NYPD officer was grazed by a bullet. So you are, in fact, very likely to get hit by a stray, perhaps more so than you are to die of Rona in New York, especially as the cases surge, but the hospitalizations remain low. And I want to take it back again to the summer of 2020 when Eric Adams was Brooklyn Borough president. Brooklyn woman killed over fireworks was following Borough Pres Eric Adams' lead. So anybody who knows me personally knows that I was, traumatized by the fireworks terrorism that we experienced in the summer of 2020. And then they suddenly just went away, but nobody cares. I guess it was all just normal, but that's a completely different story. So he told people when he was in his defund the police phase that fireworks were no reason. There was no reason to call police on fireworks. You should just go talk to the neighbors. And this woman did, and they shot her 8 times. But outside of all that, this might be the saddest part of the entire thing. When he was sworn in as mayor, he kissed his wife, I suppose, while she was wearing a mask and he wasn't, which is almost worse than them both wearing a mask. Pathetic.